Did you know that many of the plants and landscapes around you here in Maine no longer support native wildlife? Why is that? And what can you do about it? With us here tonight on 207 to talk about it is Andrew Tufts. He is the manager of the Native Plants Program at Maine Audubon in Falmouth. Thanks for coming in. Good to have you here.
Great to be here.
What do you do in that job anyway? Let's begin with that point. That sounds like something kind of fun and interesting. What does it entail?
Yeah, so at Maine Audubon, I am the manager of Bring Nature Home, and that program is all about the restoration of Maine's natural landscapes using native plants. And so we grow and sell native plants every year.
So we started off with the point that a lot of the yards that people have in Maine really don't support native insects anymore. Why is that?
That's right. So native insects need native plants because they've evolved together over thousands of years to have a relationship where the insects are able to eat the plants, whereas plants that are not from Maine and have not evolved with the insects are not available as a food source to these insects.
So this is something that probably, I'm going to guess what, 95 or more % of people never even think about. They're not aware of it. It's not on their radar at all, right?
Yep.
So how do you go about trying to educate people? I know you've got this event coming up on Saturday, and we'll talk more about that in a minute, but what do you do to get the word out about how people can make some changes in their own yards that really will have ripples that go out into the much larger world?
Yeah, so part of it is growing the plants and getting the plants out there. The other part is really getting out into the community. And I'm lucky enough to work with a bunch of schools in the Portland area and throughout Maine. So we work with elementary school students, middle school students, high school students on a variety of curriculum designed around the importance of native plants.
So you have the Native Plants Festival and Sale. It's coming up at Audubon in Falmouth on Saturday, and it's going to be workshops, it's going to be expert advice. If people have specific questions and they want to know, okay, is this plant in my garden a good one? Is this plant not so good? This is where they get answers, right?
Exactly, yeah, totally. Look for the folks with clipboards and uniforms. You'll see their plant experts spread throughout the event.
And there's some specific plants that you're going to be talking about. You sent me some photos of some specific plants. Tell me a little about the ones that you have in mind and what the lessons are that we can learn from them.
Yeah, so I think the plants I sent to you are a couple that are in bloom right now, including Canada anemone, which is a great plant. It's fairly aggressive, so if you have a landscape that you're looking for a less maintenance plant, this is a great plant that spreads fast and really requires very little watering, and it's in bloom now. Another plant in bloom right now is a plant called Penstemon digitalis. It's a fantastic native that is in bloom right now, and it attracts a variety of pollinators. The other plants we have that I mentioned are New England asters, and that's a keystone species, so it supports a ton of insects as well as providing nectar for pollinators.
People should be very relaxed about this. They're not going to get a lecture when they show up. You simply want to, let people know about what the issues are that are at stake here, right?
Right.
And we should also mention that, again, the bigger picture is if you have native plants, they support native insects, and native insects support birds and wildlife, and obviously we all have an interest in that. It's the Native Plants Festival. It's happening at Gilsland Farm at Maine Audubon in Falmouth, Saturday from 9 to 3. Yep. Andrew, thanks for coming in. We appreciate you being here. If you'd like more information on the event, what it entails, all the things that are going to be going on, just head to the 207 section of our News Center Maine website or app and stay with us. We will return in just a moment.